here, so let's waste no time and get them up on stage. First, we have the voice of Sabine. Everyone, Tia Zakar! The cheers from just a moment ago. So, I have my first question, which is, this year marks a pretty big anniversary for this show. It's the 10-year anniversary of Star Wars Rebels. And the show is still very loved to this day, and I'm sure you felt that over the years. And so I would love to ask, how has the experience been seeing the love for the show and these characters all these years later?
It's humbling, actually. It's all right. You know, on our planets, we don't always get that kind of love, so it's nice to come to this one and feel like we're part of a family, however dysfunctional. So thank you for supporting us all these years. Come on, guys.
Anyone else? Oh, it was for everybody. Yeah.
You want to answer the same question? You might get bored really quick.
I don't think
It's been wonderful. Same as him. It's been wonderful, and every time someone brings up a chopper for me to sign, or the robot with the motorcycle,
Do not say his name in front of me.
it's always wonderful. It's always wonderful.
I would also say it's especially great to get to come to these things and meet you guys in real life, because sometimes, you know, we interact with you on social media and we get to see your cosplays, but to get to actually meet you is so special, and to hear your stories and your connection to our show and our characters, it means so much, even all these years later.
I echo their sentiments. It's been wonderful. I think the last time we were here was the celebration pre-pandemic. And this story embodies pretty much why I love my Star Wars family. There was a blizzard. We were snowed in. I made it to my gate. And they said, sorry, you're going to have to go get your bags and baggage claim with like 10,000 people. Airport shut down. And I looked for my bags for 3 hours, and I was crying because I had a voiceover studio on my back. A woman came up to me with a Harris sweatshirt, and she said, Vanessa Marshall? And I was like, what? Yeah? And she said, I see you ugly crying. Would you like us to help you? I said, sure. So, like, her husband took baggage claims 1, 2, and 3. Her son took, 4 or 5, whatever. We split up. We found my bags, and I hugged them, and frankly, that's what Star Wars family is. It's not just this, it's how we help each other always. So, yeah. So this is nice, but so is that. So we have family everywhere in the world. If we just look for the logo.
I love that, kind of like finding Star Wars family in unexpected situations.
All the time.
And we finally got to meet Lars.
I guess I was the youngest of the family, yeah? And I've been doing all my work from Denmark, so we haven't met. This is really nice.
I found you incredibly terrifying. Even in your accents, I could barely, with the music in the background, you terrified me. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I tend to do that to people.
Terrifyingly handsome though too.
Indeed.
And so, you know, I read that when you all were auditioning for the project initially, it was very quiet, under wraps, you didn't know what it was, and it makes sense, you know, for a Star Wars project. And so, at what point did you become aware what you were auditioning for?
Freddie says he knew the whole time, and I believe it.
So I sort of did. You could tell when you read it. They just named it something else, but you could tell.
What were you wielding, a sun sword?
A sun sword is it's either Thundar the Barbarian or it's Star Wars. So yeah, I figured it out pretty quick.
Freddie figured it out. Also, sun sword, I feel like maybe I could have figured it out, but I did not have any idea. I forget what my character's name was, but it wasn't Sabine, of course. And as many of you probably know, our show is called Wolf. Go figure, Dave Filoni. And yeah, I had these cool scenes that I read, and I didn't know what it was. So I didn't know until I got the phone call from Dave to say, you've been hired for the show, and by the way, it's Star Wars. It's a pretty great call to get.
Yeah, it didn't really sink in for me until I was at a convention in the UK for Transformers, and I got a phone call from my agent saying, you need to go to the studio out in the country somewhere, somebody's house, and you just booked something. And she didn't want to tell me what it was, and I show up at this person's house, and I go upstairs in this little sweaty booth, and they put the sides in front of me, and I'm looking at the script, and it says Stormtroopers. And I'm having this little fit, this little internal fit, and Dave is on the other end of the Zoom going, yeah, Steve, it's Star Wars. We told you at Disney when you came for the callbacks, I guess it didn't register.
Well, I saw elements of Star Wars in the audition, but I always see elements of Star Wars in everything. Like whoever I'm in front of in line in the supermarket, I'm like, he has elements of Thrawn. You know? But I saw the sun sword, so I was like, oh, I know how to play this. I'll just be specific with Star Wars stuff, and you know, they'll respect my audition, even though it's for wolves. And I think Taylor thought he was auditioning for Mowgli in the Jungle Book. But I just never thought that my life would come so close to the space opera. So I was like, there's no way this is Star Wars. I did not put it together until I walked into the callback and saw the Twi'lek on the wall, and then Dave. And it was like, okay, just act cool. Because I had a mild panic attack, but luckily it all worked out.
Hold on a second. Did Dave wear that stupid cowboy hat indoors when you read it? He did, right? He wears it indoors. That's so not cowboy.
But he had the crew hanging out of it, so.
He's from Pittsburgh. What do you want from him? I mean, no shade to Pittsburgh, but you know, Cowboys, Pittsburgh.
The jersey and the hat look good together, though. Dave's made that a thing.
And then Lars, because you joined the cast in the later seasons, did you know it was Rebels, and specifically, did you know it was your character? Because your character's kind of a big deal.
It was. I didn't really gather, until we were into the first session. I think, I just got the call, and I think it was a bit of a tryout. That we said, could this work? And then within 10 minutes, we just hit it off, and it worked. It was fun, I mean, it was fun doing it. I mean, we did it on Skype, Dave being on Skype, and I do the session in Copenhagen. And what did I do? 4 or 5 seasons, I think? Did we? Yeah.
We did 4.
But it was fun. It was fun.
I was gonna say, if you...
My brother was already a part of the Star Wars universe, so it was nice to get something new.
kind of the start of a new era within all of the Star Wars universe, and as we see, it keeps growing and growing with more stories and more interconnected stories. And, you know, some of your characters have now showed up in other projects. Did Dave Filoni, when Rebels, the animated series, ended, give you any indication where your characters might go? Any hints?
No, I mean, the last session.
Dave thinks he works for the CIA. There's no information.
There's no cracking him?
There's no information. It's not about cracking it. There's no information given. No.
Well, so then if there was no information for you, it was all speculation, all ideas of like what your characters might be up to. At the time, what would you have liked to see your characters, sorry, Kaden, they could come back.
Or maybe like a Jon Snow situation.
But I mean, what would you have at that point loved to see the next step for your characters?
Steven.
Oh, I'm gonna hang for this. I'd like to see Zevin Callis' love child. All right, Colonel.
I would love to see Sabine, just more Sabine, like in any capacity, whether it's live action or animation or whatever it is, more Sabine. I love her so much, and you know, I'm glad that she continues on.
Well, I think we've got an answer on Thrawn, you know. So where it goes from here, I don't know. It's like, it's what you say. It's like, I'd be shocked if I have anything. I can't you know, divulge anything. So, but I don't know.
So I would like to now get maybe into a little bit more of the recording process of when you were working on the show. I know that specifically in voice acting and in dubbing, actors tend and usually record by themselves. Was that the case with the show, or did you actually get the opportunity to record together?
It was the most special, unusual situation that was crafted by Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm that, you know, a lot of the time you're in a booth by yourself. I did a movie and I didn't meet my co-stars until the red carpet premiere. That's when I met my co-stars. So it was such a special, unusual situation that we got to record every session all together whenever we had guest stars, not you, I'm sorry, Lars, but it was a long distance relationship, but when we would have guest stars, you know, D. Bradley Baker or whomever come in, they would come in and record with us, and it really just sort of allowed us to form sort of eerily similar bonds between each other that reflect, like, that our characters have with each other, you know, because Vanessa is our space mom, she's always got like snacks and clothes. And that recording studio was so cold, she'd always have like a cardigan and ask me if I needed to borrow it. And like, Freddie is our space dad, and he sort of just, you know, make sure everything is everyone's not acting up. And Steve would make, you know, weird sounds and make us laugh, and Taylor was Taylor, and so it was just like the best. And I feel like it kind of just afforded us this extra level of connection and intimacy within our group, and it just helped us perform better as a space family. So I wish it was always like that.
Well, Dave would come into the room with us too, which is kind of unusual. In most cast recordings, the director might say a couple things at the very beginning, and most of it is behind the glass. Dave would actually come into the room with us, sometimes with dry erase boards so that we could pronounce Maybe Run correctly. But sometimes in a 4-hour session, he'd just be chatting with us for an hour to give us context, to make sure that we really had a full understanding of what his vision was. And whether we accomplished that or not, I'm not sure. But it was kind of amazing to have that interaction with the director in a completely different way than I had ever experienced before. So getting yelled at.
He can give you context.
Oh yes.
Oh wow! I mean, he is basically in his head is, you know, the story, you know, for seasons to come. You know. So I mean, that is his thing, isn't it? I mean,
So he did that in your sessions too?
oh yeah.
So out of a full session, what
Yeah.
percentage of it did you actually get to record?
But yeah, but apart from that, I think it was really well written. I mean, it was so easy to go. I mean, the character was within the lines, really. I mean, it's not always like that. And so yeah. But he will give you, and also with what we're working on now with Ahsoka, he'll give you context, you know, and any little question you want answer to, he will have the answer.
And so you did speak a little bit to the bond that's created when you get to work with your fellow castmates on an animated project, which is more rare and very exciting when you get to do that. From the acting perspective, can you maybe speak a little bit more to that insight, that experience, and the benefits of that?
I mean, it's always easier to act when you have the other person there with you. That's what makes voice acting the most challenging in general, is when you're in a booth and, you know, if you're not the lead character should probably record their dialogue first, so you're reacting to them, they're not reacting to you because their character's driving the story. That doesn't always happen. On Mass Effect, there were times where, as like Vega, I would just be in there and then the lead had to react to mine, and I thought that was such a backwards way to do it. It just didn't make sense. But when you have everybody there, I mean, when Tia and I did the Darksaber episode, like, it was just us. It was just the two of us, and the microphones were facing one another so that we could look at each other in the eyes, and it wasn't so on book. It was like we were doing the scene in a live action. So it just felt much more organic than it. I haven't had the voiceover experience that Vanessa and Steve have had, but of my experiences, this was the most organic and the closest to a live action kind of scenario.
It's always more fun too in the booth. There's a lot of unexpected. Oh, go ahead and clap for it. Nowadays, most of our work is remote. I do 100% of my work from home, and I do miss that. I don't miss a lot of the shenanigans that happen in the booth. As much fun as it is, it takes a lot of time. And I can do the bananas. Oh my God, yeah. She brought it.
Yeah, we had like a whole banana thing. Again, if you have low blood sugar, I'm Italian, I can feel it, and I want to feed you. And so people, they'd be recording with your, like your stomach make noise, you need a banana. So I'm like, I'll be right back. I go in the kitchen, I get a thing of bananas. And then there's an artist, Stephen Quick, in the UK, who has a GIF. I call it a GIF. If you're a GIF, do you?
It's good.
But there's controversy, but so the GIF is a stormtrooper with a banana because it speaks to their excellent aim. Sorry, 501st. But so that became like our thing, and I printed them on T-shirts. Kevin Weir from the 501st Garrison in California got them printed for me, and I sent them out. And there's still guys in Toronto who wear my banana stormtrooper shirts. But then he actually painted Hera with a banana, so I have that. The legend lives on.
Space Mom here had a bag of holding with unlimited snacks.
Yeah, is anyone hungry? Because it's backstage.
She brought like an entire food truck worth of stuff and
Well,
handed out to anybody who's...
If you're keto, I'm probably more friendly for you, but I do have some other like carbohydrate snacks. Anyway, yeah, if you do get hungry later, I'm at booth 307. I'm not kidding. $7 a pop. I'm right at the entrance. Just come see me. Believe me, I'll hook you up.
And the t-shirts are edible too. So.
Wait, what?
I kind of like this item, this like bag. It's like, oh, this is always with me.
Oh, I'm not a mom. I've never birthed anything other than great ideas. I have a big heart, I really do, and I love each and every one of you, and it just troubles me if you're hungry. I don't know what that is.
Was there any particular scene you recorded that stands out to you? You know, whether you found it particularly challenging, or you knew it was coming, or you got something that said that was coming, and then you became like excited to dive into it?
I really like the scene where, you know, there's sort of very sort of descriptive of his character, where he sort of delves into to know an enemy, to defeat an enemy, you must know about the hero symbol, the whole history of your enemy. It was very sort of descriptive for me as to who he was as a character. I really liked doing that scene.
I have one which Freddie. Mine is what Freddie already mentioned, which is Trials of the Dark Saber. I feel like it was such a gift. It felt like such a gift to me because it was super challenging, especially as a primarily on-camera actor. You know, Rebels was my first like real deal voiceover acting opportunity, and so I was playing. You know, I played a character who does not allow herself to get emotional except for like rage and anger. So she doesn't allow herself to be vulnerable, and that was about the most vulnerable a character could get in. But also like there was physicality to it, and so like Freddie just mentioned, Dave sort of sent everyone away, sent everyone home for the day, kept one sound engineer, he stayed, and it was just Freddie and myself, and I thought that was really a gift too, because it allowed us to really just be free and go to places that I hadn't gotten to go as Sabine Wren before, and you know, I really love that episode so much.
I didn't know it was called Trials of the Dark Saber until you just said that. I don't read title pages. I've never read a title page for any movie I've done, for any, I don't care what the name of it is. I just want to get into it, and I never knew it was called that. That's awesome. Yeah. Usually I don't like the names, so that's why I don't read it.
But I think that was a pretty good one. Yeah.
I don't know the name of my favorite episodes either, but there were three moments that I specifically remember. One was when Zeb stole the TIE fighter and was driving with his feet. Becoming Juba bait, which, I didn't see that one coming. And then that day on the moon with Callus. Like he was saying, working with David in an intimate surrounding like that, and Dave really did set the stage for us to do that, to discover our dark pasts and to begin the process of healing and forgiveness. And that goes far beyond a cartoon for me. That touched me in my real life too. So that doesn't happen that often in cartoons. So it was a remarkable moment for me.
When Hera got to fly the B-Wing, that was a very special episode. I really love that. My dad is a pilot, he was in the Air Force, and when Hera spoke about what flight meant to her and how it gave her, you know, sort of value and perspective, it reminds me of the lectures I used to get from my dad, and so I had dedicated that to my father, and it was a really special moment sort of outside of the show that brought me closer to my dad, which was, it just meant a lot to me.
And so in voice acting, sometimes I know that you would have to, in order to achieve the sound and to achieve, what's happening on screen, you sometimes have to do silly things or, get to do certain physical things in order to, like I said, achieve that. Is there any memories of having to do something silly, having to do something very physical, like what you had to do to achieve what was happening on screen?
I'm not afraid of being ugly. So, anytime Zeb growled, I would go there and just disgusting things are flying out of my throat. I don't care. I just don't care.
Kanan didn't have to do, the voice is just a lower, more serious version of my voice, so I didn't have to do anything crazy or weird. I mean, I sometimes do lightsaber fight, if there was dialogue on contact, but that didn't feel weird. That was what was necessary to accomplish the goals in that scene. But he was a much more, I didn't have to ever do the sound effects like Dee Bradley or Steve. He's human, so his noises were my noises. They were easier to accomplish.
You guys did swing that saber. I remember you having the saber in your hand.
We would swing it around and like on contact and stuff, and Vader was kicking his butt. Yeah. So I remember doing some of that. I remember when Tia and I did our Darksaber scene, there was some of that as well. And this is 10 years ago, so it's tough. I barely remember breakfast. But yeah, I didn't have to do too much crazy stuff. It all felt organic and normal and natural.
And so let's timeline-wise, let's say this is maybe like midway through the series. If your characters had a day off, a moment of peace, what do you think they would enjoy doing? Yeah.
What's your floors?
I'm very curious.
Well, no, but I should talk to Dave about that, because I'd love for him to have sort of a private moment where he's sitting and listening to, Mozart or whatever, or the Ninth by Beethoven, and you're just, gazing at the stars. I think he would be contemplating, would be, making this next move, deciding on that.
He'd be
Always
like
planning.
AC/DC, come on.
I just have a mental image of like Thrawn just towel around his waist in a sauna, listening to Mozart and just scheming. I love that.
We actually did some really funny photos when we did the Ahsoka, where sort of, brooming or whatever, because it's so funny with that mask and everything, just to do something ordinary. Make a cup of coffee.
I think I'd just get a pedicure.
Oh God, please.
Zeb needs it, his hygiene is not so spot on. So, good day of self-care would be good, I think, for everyone.
I think Hera would be playing Sabak. Yeah. Little side hustle.
I feel like that question got answered in the series because Kanan and Hera made a baby.
And that's hard with no gravity.
Like, I'm aware of the trigonometry, I get the whole thing, but no one told me.
Okay, I can't follow that, but I think she would be making art. She'd go find a quiet place and paint. And she would be listening to AC/DC, for sure.
And so now I would like to open it up to fan questions, but as an announcement, fan questions will be a little different this year. And so if you were not here a little bit earlier, how fan questions will go about this time around is there is a QR code behind me that you can scan, and you will be able to submit your questions digitally. I will be able to see them right here, and we will try to answer as many as possible. So I will ask one more question as you all prepare your questions via the fan hub and the QR code, and then we will get right into fan questions. So the last question that I have is, I know we are up here talking about Star Wars Rebels. These are very loved roles, it's a very loved show. But you all as actors have wide portfolios of work that you have. I would like to ask, is there anything upcoming? It can be personal, it can be professional that you are allowed to talk about, that you are very excited about and would like to speak a little bit more to.
Well, I'll dive in. I started a Twitch channel, and long ago, it's the same handle as my Instagram, Vanessa Marshall 1138. But a long time ago, I don't know if you remember, you said, "Go get an Xbox, we'll play Grand Theft Auto." And I turned it on, and what I saw, I was like, "Bro, I live alone. I can't do this. Like, this is too scary. I'm trying to feel that people are intrinsically good. This is like way too much." So I used it to watch Netflix. Cut to the pandemic happens, I found an excellent photo of myself in 11th grade. I have a full-blown mullet, and I decided that I am going to create a Twitch stream that embodies the lack of apology in that hairstyle. And so it's framed on the wall. If you come see me, I'll give you a free picture because you need this mullet in your life. But I started streaming. We have fun and pay it forward. I raise money for different charities. And Wednesday nights I have a Women Crush Wednesday. And I play the video games that I voice with other voice actresses in the games. And we raise money for Black Girls Code, for Step Up Women's Network. And I also have Star Wars streams. And if y'all are free on May 16th, which is very close to someone's birthday, right? Maybe right on the nose. We'll be celebrating all weekend actually in Ontario that day. But I'm having a sabacc game. I've been playing sabacc for real. And if you want to learn how to play, come join me on my Twitch channel. There's room for everybody. I'm serious. I'm inviting you all to come play on the 16th of May. So come check it out.
Don't bet your shit, she'll take it from you. I have an online voiceover school called boomboxstudios.com. And we bring in the best of the best people in the world. I ran out of stuff to teach after the first 30 classes. So I bring in the best of the best. Vanessa's been one of my guest teachers, and we'll hopefully get everybody here to do it eventually. But yeah, boomboxstudios.com, we have a free masterclass if you guys are interested in voiceover and you just want to understand how the business works without any kind of commitment at all. Come to the table and we'll give you a link to our free masterclass. It's 1 hour long. And it'll give you a lot of really good insight that you might not get otherwise and keep you away from predators. The only other thing that I can talk about right now is the hip-hop guy Logic has a new album, Ultra 85, coming out very soon, and I'm going to be part of it, so...
Yeah, oh yeah. Sorry, I'm doing Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro. I think you're in for a treat there. I mean, the two main characters, they're so wonderful. I mean, Jacob Elordi and Oscar Isaac. Oh, wow.
Take my money right now. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I went back to acting, and thank you very much. I have a film coming out in July called The Girl in the Pool, with me and Monica Potter and Kevin Pollak, and basically like everyone that I work with. I just called and asked for favors to come and work. But they all came and did it, and it's a really cool movie, and we just got distribution, so I'm very proud of it. It'll be out in July, and previews, and it'll be on Paramount Plus after it goes to theaters. So yeah, so I got that. Produced it and I acted in it, but I don't know a lot of happy directors, so stay doing the happy stuff.
This isn't that exciting. I have 2 projects that are in the works, but I don't want to jinx anything, so hopefully next time we see each other, I'll have something to announce.
Oh, I got one more thing. Tonight, Toonami is on. We're still going. Toonami.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, because I'm so impassioned by the Twitch stuff, I'm Wonder Woman on the Harley Quinn show, Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Rick and Morty, and I'm a bunch of weird people. I know, dude, don't ask. It's a whole thing. But also Solar Opposites, I'm also a member of that, Castlevania. There's a bunch of random stuff. If you check my feed, I'll tell you there's another really cool thing coming soon, so thank you.
So let's get to our first fan question. And so this one is, it's time for Secret Santa on the Ghost. What is everyone getting each other as a gift?
Meilurans. All day.
A glass of midichlorians?
I think Sabine is getting Zeb antiperspirant.
What are you saying? Is there a Bacta ship on our tank on the ship, on the spaceship?
I don't think we have one.
Then I'll get you one of those. Let's get next time we get jacked up. All right.
Those boo-boos.
Well, I think Thrawn might give you all incarceration.
We will deserve it.
In the past 10 years, how has your life changed because of being part of the Star Wars universe?
You're never alone in baggage claim.
As we heard.
Yeah, I mean,
I would,
on and on.
oh, I was gonna say monumentally because, first of all, when you start your acting career in Hollywood, I don't think anyone foreshadows that one day they'll be part of the Star Wars universe. That's just not something that feels like real life. And so I think, for one, getting to have formed this bond with these people, and it doesn't even feel like 10 years, 11 years really, because we started a year before the show ever premiered, but to get to have that, and also to get to be part of this family that's like you said, just anywhere on the planet you find each other, and so it personally and professionally, it's just been incredibly gratifying, and I still sometimes pinch myself and go how did I get so lucky?
Yeah, it was a trip. I would say more personally than professionally, because I'm still in contact with everybody here, including Taylor, who's not here. I talk to Taylor all the time. And that doesn't happen a lot. Kathleen Turner famously said, a movie is like a marriage with a guaranteed divorce. You're with each other so much, and you love each other so much, and then you never see one another again, and that just wasn't the case with this. And maybe because TV is so different, and we were together for 4 years, but yeah, the personal relationships that have been made, I mean, I'm trying to be a neighbor of Steve's here in the next few years, you know, so we're definitely close, and we have love for each other, even if we don't see each other all the time. There's still communication, and a lot of love and respect. I would say that's the most.
Much more shallow. I get lots of patches, so I'll save every one of them. But the groups, the 501st and Rebel Legion, Mando Mercs, they're amazing, and it's global. Everywhere we go in the world, we, like you guys are saying, we feel like we're family, and they always greet us warmly. They bring a droid by to say hello. They present us patches and coins in airports and everywhere. It's just amazing. I've never felt part of something to this degree.
I like to get them to arrest us at the end of panels. I did that in San Francisco, but I forgot to tell Taylor. Taylor's like, what is happening right now? I was like, just roll it, just roll it.
Should we be worried?
No, I couldn't find them this time. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go find them later. Lars, you can arrest us and take us off.
I'll do that.
Very good.
No, for me it's been life-changing too. I mean, also to become part of this family, and now working on a sofa in real life. I have pinched myself there. First day on set with a drone, I asked it out, didn't want to go. It's amazing. It's been amazing being part of this, and the embrace of all of you. And also, I mean, in Denmark at least, we've got a charity organization called the Tribbles for Charity, which I'm becoming an ambassador for, and that also is life-changing because it changes the lives of so many young people.
I know we talked a little bit previously about your favorite moments from the show that you recorded, but one of our fan questions is there a particular day that was your favorite being on this show? Like it was just the whole day, things just came together, and it just stands out in your memory.
What about Jason Isaacs?
Playing golf.
When he came in and put the miniature golf together, you were gonna murder that dude. You seemed so irate that it was like
First off,
professional.
let's not throw Jason under the bus.
I know.
Jason's a good dude. He spent his time between takes playing miniature golf. And sometimes you know, whatever.
Also, we should
But he was lovely, he was lovely.
Lovely. But also, we had been recording for a year or more in the same studio once a week, and we had no idea that there was a miniature golf set in like a closet, and he shows up day one of his, you know, of him working on the show, and he like kind of wanders over, opens it up, takes it out, starts playing. We're like, where did this thing come from?
I think the Inquisitor successfully annoyed Kanan with that though. In the moment, either that or your acting was flawless.
You know, this is so long ago, I don't remember being mad. I really don't. I don't. Maybe I was just trying to stay in character. You remember this better than me, but I don't remember being mad because I remember talking to him after the episode and we had a cool conversation. So that's the only.
Yeah, no, he's a completely cool dude, but it was kind of like, I'm Space Mom, you're Space Dad, and like Uncle Bob is just ruining it. I don't know if Uncle Bob's going to get drunk again and you guys are going to go at it. And it was an interesting day.
I remember one day I was in the booth working, and I'm looking out into the hallway, and there's a glass door, and the wall in the hallway has this beautiful tropical sort of vent, and I see Tia like this on the wall because her outfit matched the wall exactly. She was.
Picture somewhere.
I have it, I'll post it later. Check my feed up, you have to see this.
It was like Predator. I was looking at this wall. This beautiful face comes out of. Oh my God!
Jump scare. When I tell you that this jacket that I have was literally the exact print of the wallpaper. I don't know what that says about my fashion sense, but
It's beautiful.
thank you.
I have several pictures of you up on the wall, actually, I'll post.
I will just say, I don't remember exactly the question, but one day that stood out the most for me, aside from our Child's Guitars, or what it was called, was our last episode that we ever recorded, which some of you may have heard the story before, but Sabine, records the epilogue of the show, and I did not know that was going to happen until Dave pulled me aside and told me. And again, he said we had our last episode. It was very emotional. We were doing a big casting crew dinner that night, and so he dismissed everyone. We said, hugged it out, although we were going to see each other at dinner. And he kept me, and he sent everyone away except for, again, one sound engineer. And he gives me this piece of, it's a handwritten note on a piece of paper, crumpled up, that he takes out of his pocket, because he didn't want to type it lest anyone actually accidentally get access to it. And it was the epilogue. And he said, "Here, read this. You're gonna do this." And so I read it, and I immediately burst into tears, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to keep this secret from Vanessa. She's gonna kill me. And so we do it. It was very emotional. It was really special. And then I have to go to dinner with all of these people and be like, yeah, I was like, yeah.
No, you were 100% traumatized.
Oh, so I was so terrified that I was going to let something slip. But I stayed on that trust tree like my life depended on it, because I feel like it.
And we had a Sabine cake too, with black frosting. And I remember everyone's teeth, we were all walking around
You have an incredible memory, Vanessa. I remember
anything food related, of course. No, so Tia's just sitting there completely catatonic. We've all got frosting and being idiots. And
I just didn't want to spill the beans. I think I didn't speak for that dinner.
No, you didn't. I thought she was just sad it was over.
I was sad it was over, and I was also really emotional about what I actually just had to record, and yet had to keep that secret for a full year. A full year. Whew, that's like a weight lifted off.
And so this next question involves the idea of a prequel series. Now, I almost kind of think that I would personally like to see little backstory, more backstories of everyone. But if we were to go with the first, if there was one character who went first, giving us more a prequel series, more background, more backstory, who do you think you would want to see first?
Anyone but Choppa. He's a criminal, come on.
Kanan, right? Kanan? What do you guys think?
The comic book sort of already did that. I mean, I guess they could replicate. I don't know if it would be as exciting. The comic did a really good job, I felt. I've signed a bunch of them. I feel like I even read them back then, so I don't know if Kanan would be.
Okay, fine, Sabine.
Yeah, that's
They would pay for the new house. Just saying. I want you as my neighbor, come on. I'm too old.
Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb. Now, his prequel story would be sad, wouldn't it? I don't know if well, I'll do it though.
We got to see her in Bad Batch. She was a girl.
I want to see Thrawn as a child. What made you this way? Being mean to puppies?
So this question is for everybody. Were there any aspects of your character that you introduced that weren't originally scripted?
I think Dave is one of the really good things about him, you know, one of his forces is that he will utilize what you are there with, you know. He'll want your inputs, you know? But I mean, he knows more than I do, so most of the time he won't use it. Which I think is brilliant, because I have 9 really bad ideas for the 10th good, you know? So, but that's one of his forces, I think. Yeah, they will sort of utilize what you're there with, your talents. Yeah. So yeah, a bit like Thorn. Yeah.
Lack of personal hygiene. It was nicely incorporated, so method, very method.
I think Dave incorporated a lot of each of our personalities into the characters. I think early on he sort of, you know, he talked to us a lot, as you've heard. Like, there was lots of one-on-one and group discussions, and I think he took, I mean, I feel like you're so Kanan, really, like, in a lot of ways. But you're alive, so that's great, that's great. And like, Vanessa is so Mira, and I think he's sort of, and our writers, like, we got to know each other so well, and so, especially as time went on and the seasons progressed, like, our characters really do, I think they did a really amazing job of incorporating, even like facial, they would record us, they would film us, our sessions, each of us had a camera at our station, at our microphones, so they would like incorporate really nuanced facial expressions and reactions into our characters, so I think there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, Lars mentioned earlier that so much is on the page, and you really sort of trust in that. But as far as bringing extra stuff, I mean, with Kanan, the only challenge and the tricky thing, which was fun as an actor, was to bring the trauma that he suffered with him for 4 years. And what does trauma do to a personality? How does it shape a personality? It creates trust issues, it creates authority issues, which he most certainly has, trust issues, which he most certainly had. So I'm trying to carry those things and be conscious of those things on top of what was on the page was the biggest thing for me as far as carrying trauma, because that's not fun to do. Because you stick with it a little bit when the job's over, but it was really important. It's what humbled Kanan. I think that's why people like Kanan so much, is because he's such a humble Jedi. He was very relatable. He's gone through a lot of bad stuff, and he doesn't always deal with it the Jedi way. He deals with it the way someone who went through a horrible trauma would deal with it. And so I try to stay true to that.
Plus he made a baby.
Which I never knew about. I never knew, nobody told me, nothing. I never knew. My daughter told me. She watched the last episode. She was like, "Dad, did you know that you and her had a baby?" I was like, "What?"
I love how neither of you knew that, and it was just like a complete surprise.
Yeah, well, I've got so many questions. The first of which is when?
Is one of them how?
Well, There was a break where I think we say I love you or some tender something, and then there's dusk, and then the sunrise happens. There's a commercial break, and then sunrise, and I think there's a character who comes up and interrupts our romantic moment, and he was like, "Yeah, it happened in the commercial break."
It's quick.
It's quick and loans. You two can create it.
This next question is, for your character, what would their favorite flavor of ice cream be? Who is the mint chip flavor of the friend group?
That's mine in real life, so I'll go with mint chip. Yeah.
Melu, run.
This is not mine in real life, but what's the like swirly, colorful, like rainbow? That would be hers. Yeah.
Something blue.
Blue ice milk, maybe. Yeah.
I have Melu on her blue milk.
And so we are going to begin to wrap up this panel. And so for this last question, animation is incredibly beautiful and voice acting is a wonderful art and a wonderful talent. One of our questions is, what is your advice when it comes to voice acting?
Talk to that guy.
Go to BloomBoxStudios.com.
Honestly, go visit him at his booth. They'll give you a link to a free master class. I mean, what more can you say? Either that or D. Bradley Baker's site, iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, answers everything. How to build a home studio, where to get mics, how to do it on the cheap, how to spend a fortune, how to practice. It's amazing. D is a saint.
And between Steve Bloom and D. Bradley Baker, you couldn't have two better teachers and guides.
Truly.
And you know what I about you, so
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I usually tell people to go to Steve's Instagram when I'm asked. No, I really do. I go just follow Steve on social media. All I can say is, voice acting is acting. These two could be in any live action show, whatever, and they would be able to execute at the same level. Actors are actors. I'm not trying to like stand on a soapbox, but I don't like the stigma that our business has put on it. I think it should be just an even playing field. Actors are actors, artists are artists.
I will share one piece of advice that I give my students in pretty much every class, and I just say that no matter what you do in life, make sure that you find something that you love, that really moves you, and do that under any circumstances, and then do everything else you have to do to support that. So even if it doesn't become your way of making a living, at least you'll have that joy in your life. And I think a lot of times when we grow up, we forget how to pursue joy, and it's so important. So whether it's voice acting or music or anything, dance, any kind of creativity that you have inside you that people have told you you can't do it. Just do it under all circumstances.
It's different. In Denmark, we do a lot of versionizing of what you guys have done. So, and this was the first time for me to actually have that camera in the face and that they actually took advantage of me being in the booth. Because we normally just see what you do and we sort of mimic that. So that's a certain kind of voice acting that is sort of doing what you do, just in Danish. But this was really nice. I agree totally with you. I mean, this is acting. I mean, and I saw one of the questions was how was it transitioning into the live action? And actually, it wasn't that hard because you do it in the booth anyhow. You're actually there with your body. I mean, you're not like stay blah blah. You're not doing that. I mean, you're sort of doing the character anyway. Yeah. So in many ways, we've done the work when we had to do the live action. And I totally agree. you shouldn't have done it. This is phenomenal what people can do.
I'm way too lazy.
Fair enough, but you're capable. That's all I'm saying. I'm with you.
I memorize lines. Professionals.
Well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to speak with us.